Yeah, this is Point Black. Coming in hard and off the car. Coming with that flow straight to the barrio. Coming with that heat to the motherfucking street. Coming with the facts. Crack their back. You know what I'm saying? This is how we do. This is PBNN, Point Black. National News. The late edition. You know what I'm saying? And the ghetto edition as well. You know what I mean? What we was discussing the other day, we see the dangers and the tricks at its best when it comes to the demon Democrats. You know what I'm saying? We see that in it. You know, so now we have to look at the different things in which they're barking for. You know what I'm saying? You know, when we look at the right, you know, they pull a lot of these tricks right in a pandemic. Oh, yeah. Biden is even trying to blame inflation, you know what I'm saying, on bullshit. But he's not escaping the inflation that we see. So how can you blame it on Trump when many people now know that that's not true? You know what I'm saying? So the question is, what are they going to blame Trump for next? Chewing gum in class? You know what I mean? We have to look at that. You know what I mean? Even when you look at the border crisis that he created, you know, Mexico is a very dangerous country. Anyone knows that. You know what I mean? It's a very dangerous country. The danger, we know. You know, and it's been like that for years. It's been like that for years and years of it. We have seen. So, how can you blame anything on Trump with that one? I don't get. Because he didn't tell them to rush the border and they have 100 days to get there and they'll be given pardon to come into the country and then remain the border wide open as we go. And didn't do anything much to really say of the quailing of the behavior and the security of the border. When we look at it, you know what I'm saying? You know, and it's been that way for years. And years of it. We don't have to lie about that. We know that's true. We don't have to lie about that. You know, many come over here and they come over here, even some of them with their races behind as Mexicans or whatever they want to call themselves, speak or whatever. They come over here a lot of times with a lot of racist garbage on their mentality and they bring it over here, even in the way they take over and even the people who own businesses kin towards them. You know what I mean? You know, probably pay them more. So don't sleep on talking about their work only for $5. Mm-hmm. Get off that bull crap. You know what I mean? So we see. We see. You know? Biden knows. We don't have to lie about that because Biden knows the danger. He knows the danger himself. He ain't stupid. He knows the danger. Biden knows the danger, but do not care. You know, letting millions in just so they can keep them in the house. Because that's what it seems like he's doing to me. You know what I mean? So they could keep them in the house. You know what I mean? As chaos moves. You know what I'm saying? You know, as chaos moves. He wants to stay in the house and create these new voter people and say, look how we did this for you and we let you in the country and then we open the gate and Trump tried to lock you up and still running the blame game. Remember we spoke about that in the very beginning. You know what I'm saying? The Trumpy bear has got him going crazy. You know what I mean? They are trying any trick they can to use to save their behind. So they released the grand plans. Oh, yeah. anything, anything they possibly could think of, anything that would you know, anything within a certain overstanding of, you know, legal moves that they would call legal moves. But just because it's a legal move or a move in which they say is right within politics don't mean that it's right. You see what I'm saying? So we have to look at that. You know what I mean? We have to look at that. You know, anything to lead to the end of our nation is what seems to be these demon Democrats' holy trick. You know what I mean? Speaking of the past to now, especially when they knew, they knew, they knew that it was coming. Let's put it that way. They knew it was coming, so they had concocted all kinds of plans prior. You know what I mean? You know, cartels. When you look like they knew it coming, like cartels, sex trafficking, murder, and so on. Let's stop lying here. Somewhere along the line, I see a lot of people seem to want to live in a fantasy world as to what's going on out here. But let's stop lying here because that ain't making no difference. You know what I mean? No difference. You know, they said that Trump was a racist to this. But Biden said we shouldn't worry about the border. Okay. Who we think is a stupid idiot? You know what I mean? He should have said, just leave it wide open. Really? Don't worry about it. Just leave it wide open. You know what I'm saying? That boy going on in there. Now they're bringing in Mexico. You know what I mean? Leave it wide open. You know? That's what he should have said. But they said Trump was a racist. But Trump saw the crisis. He did what any logical president would have done. You know, he did anything any logical president or king or anybody of a country would do. Secure the border once the crisis begun and they got out of hand. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But Biden know the type of people that are over there. And he knew the type of corruption that was caused over there for many, many years by corrupting governors and presidents and all kinds of shit in bed with them. You see. So he know the type of chaos those people can bring, as we see. You know what I mean? You know? Now, to me, Trump jumped right on it to protect our nation. Now, how long is Biden going to ignore it and act as if like it don't exist? And Kamala sitting up there with her crazy puppet deal talking about she working behind the scenes. Well, we hope so. We wait to see the result. And we're going to see how long it takes because if it's a crisis, you should have been on it just like the pandemic with a life-saving juice. You know what I'm saying? So you say it. You know what I mean? You know, but when we look, Biden is ignoring that. How long is he going to ignore this? He even heard, you know, in a town, I think somewhere in the border of the Texas line where a lot of these cartels be moving drugs and human sex trafficking and stuff over there that's close to the Texas line there with Mexico, just had a bloodbath. Cartels trying to push out one another, just start spraying down the whole city. You know, hitting everybody, workers, cops, people, children, just shooting like a wild beast out of hell. Just right over the border on the line with Texas. You know what I'm saying? On one of the border lines. I forgot the name of the town. See, I think it's a town within the city or whatever. You know what I mean? You know, spraying down the city with bullets. Those people over there must be lost. They're lost. You know what I mean? bullets. People lost their mind, you know what I mean? In a cartel fight. And he wants to let every and anybody come into this country. Something racist about that move. Very racist and suspicious about that move. You know what I mean? Now that we're looking more closely at it, cartel fight, you know, they must be proud of themselves over there. Real proud of themselves. Oh, yeah. Trump made a stand protecting our country. Who else made a stand? Is the question. That is what's the real question. You know, everybody running around talking about the Republicans during the election and all these demon Democrats and people running out there doing all kinds of garbage. You know what I'm saying? We were seeing, you know what I mean? So we wanted to know what was the real issue in this. What was a real president was supposed to do? Just sit there and go along with it like Biden and them tried to make all the Democrats and all everybody and everybody, you know, I will believe them. When they was the one stroking their back to cause that rush of people to the border, to then turn around and say when Trump stepped in and try to do something about it. Because you were saying that even before Trump was out of office, you was ramping these people up on your speeches. And when they heard that, they rushed the border. And when Trump tried to do something about the situation, you told the world that he was racist. But I'm asking the question, what is a true president or king of a country should do when it comes to his borders? Because that is an issue. No one has open borders. You know, what is he supposed to do? Now what? Violence has increased in our country as well, as we see. Rape is now on focus, you know, as well as pedophilia. And not just from Mexican people. You know what I mean? So we seen a lot of garbage. No wonder they were so desperate to win this election. Now we beginning to using every trick in the book, calling people racist, blackballing them, saying I'm gonna fire you unless you pass, the FDA don't pass this, and all kinds of shit was going down. Mark Zuckerberg, he over there doing garbage. Facebook, MySpace, YouTube, all of them. Very suspicious action. And we see now, you know, Democrats trying hard, you know what I'm saying, to block by using the flee move. Talking about they flee in the state of Texas or whatever from then going to D.C. with them, I'm saying, calling for the last ditch effort to, you know, prevent the passage of the restrictive new voting laws the laws that is in the Republicans' control of legislature, in the control legislature, party leaders in the state, but why? The party leaders in the state said, but why? Why are they so desperate to kill the bill? You know what I'm saying? Of the restrictives. If the Democrats are so concerned about restrictions or different things on the voting laws that will protect the vote, then stop cheating. It's as simple as that. Biden and the demon Democrats are running scared. I wonder what have them running so scared is the question. Now you see now. But rules must be in place. It must be in place to protect the true vote of the voter. And if the Democrats talk about fair vote, why are they so loose in their vote is the question. Why are they so loose with theirs? to where there's all kinds of open holes. Why are you so loose? Is the question. You know, that even promotes cheating. But say you don't. There are many loopholes in our voting process. The freedom to vote in America must be protected at all costs. You know what I'm saying? Because 47 years seems to have its place. You see? To overlook our process, and to Americans who don't, in what Trump and all Republicans should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Because if they don't look, they stupid. But what all the Republicans should be doing, you know what I'm saying, should be on board with this one for the fight. You know what I'm saying? For the fight. Because we do need that. Or if you're not on board as a Republican, on the fight of these laws that we can put in place to make sure they don't cheat. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I forgot the name of the bill. You know what I'm saying? Shows that, you might not be good for the Republican Party when we look at it. Because if you ain't on board, well, it will show where you really stand. And that's the question. When it comes to the Republicans, the people, when it comes to the Republican, the people, you know what I'm saying? Because, there is reason. Now, the Democrats, you know what I'm saying, are chomping up about it. Why are they chomping up about it? This is because it puts a stamp on their cheating game. And that's a fact. And they're scared because they do not want Trump to take that office again because they know what will happen. You know what I'm saying? They put a stamp on their cheating game. And if it stands as law, now we will see the trueness of the vote. And through your vote, when you say no, it will be no. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? It will be no. And when you say yes, it will be yes. Point blank. You know what I'm saying? Because, they cheated for a very long time. 47 years is a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because cheated, they either have even given or involved in conspiracy or conspiring to do great harm. You know what I'm saying? Great harm. Many immoral shit they have done and still doing. Illegal, harmful, and heartless garbage. Don't come with that garbage. You know what I'm saying? Harmful garbage on planet Earth. You know what I mean? That they are the most conniving party of crooks in North America, really. And there are many others. And they have many other followers and many other groups even higher than them. You know what I'm saying? They have millions of followers and more. But when it comes to, the only argument they have in these restrictives that Trump and them are trying to put in place in the voting process, the only thing they have is racism, which is a restriction anyway. It's that's all they have. With restriction, it's restrictions, but they're trying to turn it into racism. No, it's not. No, it's not racism. But it is protection that needs to be in place years ago. You know what I'm saying? Years ago. You know? You know? They don't want this to happen, but they want wide open. Republicans, we have them on the run. Hit them up, move them out. You know what I'm saying? So I'm coming on part 2 on this one. This is called a restriction. So I'm coming on the next one, and I'm about to drop it later on. So stay tuned, you know what I'm saying, for part 2 on this one as well. You know what I'm saying? Point Black saying, may the mother be that guy one.